You know what? We had just spoken about goaltenders on this YouTube channel just a few hours ago, and in the show, I called out former San Jose Sharks goaltender Mackenzie Blackwood, and I said, this guy can actually be pretty good. This guy has a pretty bad statistical breakdown if you look at it, but because he plays for San Jose, because he faces a ton of shots against, because the team in front of him isn't necessarily the best, he does show up sometimes. And the interesting thing about that is that he just got traded. Take a look at this. The Colorado Avalanche have sent Alexandar Georgiev and Nikolai Kovalenko to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for Mackenzie Blackwood and Givani Smith. Take a look at the full trade details. The Sharks are receiving Georgiev and Kovalenko, plus a second and a fifth, in exchange for Blackwood, Smith, and a fifth. Okay, we can cancel out the fifth round picks. They're in 2025 and 2027, so Colorado is essentially moving 2 years into the future in the fifth round. They're adding on Givani Smith, they're adding on Blackwood. There are some interesting replies to this. I mean, hey, we got fleeced, we gave up way too much. Giving up Kovalenko will be tough, but this team finally got exactly what it needed, a legit goalie. There was too much talent on this team being wasted on a career backup. With that said, there's a lot of wood all of a sudden on this team. What are they talking about? Blackwood, Wedgwood, and is there another one? Is there Miles Wood? Is that correct? I'm not too sure. Anyways, goodbye Alexandar Georgiev, because he is now in San Jose. If you take a look at what Georgiev has been able to provide for the Colorado Avalanche, it's been really bad, honestly. I mean, you think about just the numbers, you think about the consistency. Sure, there would be games once in a while, like the game we had seen against the Detroit Red Wings the other night, where he absolutely popped off and he had a .967 save percentage. But before that, guess what? The guy had a .500 save percentage. He is so hot and cold, up and down, not consistent at all, this Alexandar Georgiev, that his save percentage this year of .874 is kind of the epitome of what Colorado has had to deal with. He had an .897 save percentage last year in the playoffs in 11 games, and .897 in the regular season too. Where in the world did this .918 save percentage come from? I have no idea. But the fact is, he's a $3.4 million goalie signed on to the end of this season at 28 years old, and he is now in San Jose. In exchange, the Colorado Avalanche are getting Mackenzie Blackwood, who, in his own right, has been very solid, 28 years old. His save percentage this year is at a .910. And maybe I wasn't giving enough credit to Mackenzie Blackwood himself, because throughout the season, I mean, .942, .964, .947, he posts up numbers, man. Mackenzie Blackwood is a really strong goaltender option who is signed on to the end of this season making 2.3. So the Colorado Avalanche are actually saving money by getting a better goaltender, upgrading from Alexandar Georgiev to Mackenzie Blackwood. But when you upgrade, you have to pay a price, and that's exactly what the Colorado Avalanche did here. They sent away Nikolai Kovalenko, 25 years old, a guy who had played in the NHL this season with 8 points in 28 games. This is only his second year in North America. Actually, it's his first full year in North America. Last year, he was in the KHL, and he was a pretty good point producer for Torpedo. 35 points, 42 games played the year before that. He had 54 points in 56, so he was a point-per-game guy, one of the best players in the KHL. This season, though, he had shown off some pretty alright skill and versatility in the middle to bottom of the lineup. It's going to suck losing out on a KHL free agent of this status, but eventually, you gotta pay some prices, or free agent, what do I say here? He was a draft pick by Colorado back in 2018, so he did take some time to develop and eventually make the team. But he was on the team, and that's the fact. The fact is, he was a 6th-round pick who made the NHL. That's really, really good. And the San Jose Sharks are getting themselves a guy whom they could probably slot in near the top of the lineup here and maybe get some better results out of. It was always going to be difficult for Kovalenko to translate his top KHL production into the Colorado Avalanche system, just considering the amount of guys they have that are already top-tier players. So for Kovalenko, this is a really good opportunity for him in San Jose. Mackenzie Blackwood heading over to Colorado. That's a really good addition, though. So even though the Sharks are grabbing themselves some really good value here, it's not like Colorado isn't getting value either. Mackenzie Blackwood is really great. And then you still have Givani Smith, who is going to be over here, 26 years old, doing his thing with Colorado as well. If they needed some sort of an agitative force, this works out. This checks out. Givani Smith is that. He can be very effective at what he does. And, I mean, you take a look at the trade over here. Sure, you're not going to get much point production out of Givani Smith, but in the limited 5 to 10 minutes you're going to see out of this guy per night, he'll go out there, he'll dish the body, he'll be a force, he'll police the game. He's a strong player in that respect. And look, I can't necessarily fault Colorado for going out there and grabbing that sort of a player on their team, especially when you consider their playoff aspirations for 2024-2025. Whether or not Givani plays, that's remaining to be seen. I mean, he only had 6 games played with the Sharks this season, so he had already missed, 24 games on the year, and last year he only played 36. It's not like he's going to be the most impactful guy, but he's still going to be there. He's still going to have himself a role on the locker room with the team and practice. That's valuable there, especially with the work ethic and the intensity that Givani Smith can bring to an NHL locker room. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Ultimately, if I had to decide who wins this trade, I would say that Colorado, for what they're getting, it's so valuable for them. Locker room, physical presence in Smith, plus Mackenzie Blackwood, who is a huge upgrade over Georgiev. Meanwhile, the Sharks are getting Georgiev, who is worse. I mean, they've had some really interesting goaltending situations over the past little while here. I mean, Vanacek and Blackwood have both split the load in a very strange way. There are some nights where they're very good, honestly. Like, Vitek Vanacek is not a total bum. Alexandar Georgiev, though, getting pummeled with shots like he will be as a member of the San Jose Sharks, that is going to be very questionable to see how he responds to that. Nikolai Kovalenko, though, is a really good add, and I think for a lot of Sharks fans, y'all should be very excited to see this guy suit up in the top of your lineup because he could do some really interesting things. I'm a big fan of Kovalenko. Also, the draft picks, I mean, San Jose getting a second and moving a 5th round pick from 2027 to 2025. They're getting some extra depth here in the draft. Sure, if Colorado goes far in the playoffs, that 2026 6th round pick might be somewhere really far into the future. Of course, that's 2026 and not 2025, right? So maybe Colorado has a little bit of a longer term plan to stay competitive for much longer. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Alexandar Georgiev getting sent over to the San Jose Sharks alongside a Kovalenko, a 2026 2nd round pick, and a 2025 5th round pick, all in exchange for Mackenzie Blackwood, Givani Smith, and a 2027 5th round pick. Who won this trade? Who lost this trade? I'm thinking it's a win-win because both teams are getting things that they could use and actually value, but Mackenzie Blackwood, I think, is a really good catch. I know Avs fans are saying they gave up too much, but man, Blackwood is a really good treat. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 9 and bye.